Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It looks like rapper Kashdoll and NFL star Za'darius Smith are no longer in a relationship. How do we know this? Because both Za'darius Smith and Kashdoll decided to take to their social media to announce their departure, that they are no longer together. First, Za'darius Smith decided to post this to his Insta story exactly 6 hours ago. He said single, okay? Now Kashdoll, she decided to post to her Twitter and she said, "At this point of my life, I just need to be single. Za'darius, a great guy, but we can't see eye to eye, and with all due respect, we decided to part ways. I'm giving the internet a break also, so I'm done with y'all too right now." Okay, now of course Kashdoll's baby daddy, it wouldn't be Tracy if he didn't get involved in this, if he wasn't being a little messy. Okay, yes, Tracy, I'm calling you out. You know, no offense, but you are getting a little messy with this situation, even while these two were actually together. But anyways, amid the news that Kashdoll and Za'darius Smith broke up, Tracy T, he decided to post and he said, "Look like I'm gonna be paying that tuition by myself, still Tracy out now." Now we know that Tracy and Za'darius Smith got into a little argument under the Shade Broom's post in the comment section. So he's deciding to be petty and respond to what Za'darius Smith was saying, like, come and help pay this tuition. Now, anyways, that's when Kashdoll decided to respond to him, not even Za'darius. And I'm pretty sure Za'darius is not going to respond because he's like, look, that's not my battle anymore. Me and her are not together. I don't need to say anything. I'm done with it. Like, that's them. So Kashdoll, she decided to say something. She said, "Tuition and Tracy in the same sentence is something that I've never seen before. I don't care who I'm with. It'll never be you." And then she calls him the P word, specifically P-U-S-S-Y. That's what she says to her baby daddy. And I'm like, whoo, Kashdoll. I can understand why Kashdoll would be super frustrated with her baby daddy, Tracy T, because he was trolling the whole time that Kashdoll and Za'darius Smith were in a relationship. So the fact that now they're no longer together anymore, they broke up and he's still trolling, it's just like, give it a break. Tracy T, what are you trying to prove? Do you have anything else going on? We thought that you was with a woman and you was in a new relationship and you was happy, but you're continuously trolling your baby mama. Okay, so I can't really say that Tracy T didn't have this coming to him because Kashdoll wasn't saying anything for the longest time. While he was trolling when Za'darius Smith and Kashdoll were in a relationship, she didn't say anything. And Za'darius Smith was the main one speaking out and saying something. But now that they are over, Kashdoll, she kind of has every right to speak out and defend herself because it's just like, what are you doing? Now, I do not agree with what she said. I don't agree with her calling him the P word. Why? And I know y'all gonna get on me, but because I do believe in having a co-parenting relationship where you guys respect each other. If you guys do not respect each other, I just don't think that that's a good thing. Like, you know, I think you should at least have respect, especially when you have young kids. Now, if your kids are 16, 17, you know, about to turn 18, then you might could get away with some things, calling him, you know, some names, because it's just like, we don't gotta communicate anymore anyways. But if you got young kids, at least keep some type of respect in any type of relationship that you have, but especially in a co-parenting relationship. But I understand you guys are going to say, for you guys who are going to get on me, I understand that it doesn't seem like Lord Tracy had a lot of respect for Kashdoll in her relationship with her man Za'darius Smith. So it's like I said, he kind of had this coming. Now let's go ahead and move on to Za'darius Smith and Kashdoll. Let's go ahead and get into our thoughts about that, these two breaking up specifically. Is it surprising to hear that Kashdoll and Za'darius Smith broke up? Kind of. You know, it's unfortunate that these two didn't work out, especially because they look good together, but looks are super superficial, right? And shallow to look at. It all depends if you're really getting along with the person, if y'all have a real connection, and if y'all are aligned, but that's a whole different topic, right? But yes, unfortunate that these two didn't work out. Now, I'm not somebody to kick anybody while they're down, even though I made a previous video talking about and pointing out the red flags that we were already seeing, especially with the makeup situation. You know, we live and we learn. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, ha ha, we told you so, because that's not fair. You wouldn't want anybody kicking you while you're down. Why would you kick somebody else while they're down? And I think a lot of people, I just want to address this real quick before I get into some of the red flags that we've seen that we can learn from. I think a lot of people don't understand me and my content and the way that I speak. It's because I'm a firm believer in, and I really understand it's about life this is what I understand about life, excuse me, is that what you put out is what you get back. And a lot of people don't understand why they get so much negativity back in their life, because they give out so much negativity. Like, you will never win with just being negative and putting down people and judging people. Even if it seems like you are winning, you won't completely win. Like, eventually it'll get to a point where your life will reflect the things that you do and say. Hallelujah, amen. So for me, you know, and I could say that I wasn't always like this on this channel. I decided to change my perspective and change who I was and make sure that I was a better person and speaking life into people instead of just judging people and speaking a lot of negativity, because I don't want that back in my life. And my life has been 10 times better. But anyways, let's go ahead and point out some of the red flags that was there with Kashdoll and Za'darius Smith that we could just point out in general. First of all, moving too fast. It seems like Za'darius Smith and Kashdoll moved super fast in a relationship. I think it was reported that these two got together or met each other at the end of last year. Yeah, 2024. They made it official in the beginning of this year, 2025. So it's like, I don't know if these two gave each other the proper time to get to know each other. I'm a strong believer in become friends with that person first, right? And don't be scared that the person is going to move on. Understand that what's meant for you is going to be meant for you, no matter who comes about. So don't have any attachment issues. Really get to know a person, become friends with that person, vibe with that person, and see if you guys are a good fit, are a good match. Don't just rush into a relationship with anyone. Now, secondly, I will have to say, I think that Kashdoll didn't give herself enough time to heal from her relationship with her baby daddy, Tracy T. I think that she went through a lot with him. And I do believe, I'm a strong believer in, especially as a woman, and I'm only saying as a woman because I'm a woman, so I can only speak from a woman's perspective, is to really stay single, heal yourself, stay celibate, and get yourself together as a woman after you've been through a very toxic or narcissistic relationship. Men, of course, that's important for them to do as well. But like I said, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. Really heal yourself, get yourself together, especially if that was your baby daddy. You carry kids for this man, okay? So definitely take your time to heal. Don't move on super fast, because you might just be trying to, you know, band-aid over what you're really feeling, your real emotions for that other party and what you went through, okay? So take that time to properly heal. It doesn't seem like Kashdoll actually took the time to do that. Thirdly, and this kind of is similar to the second one, Kashdoll and Za'darius Smith have very young children, which is why it's hard to believe that these two actually did take the time to heal. I think reflecting is a big thing when it comes to, especially when you have kids by someone, or if you were married. Really reflect and see what happened between you and that other person, instead of just, oh, I just got to find someone else. Really reflect on, okay, where was I wrong in the situation? We always think it's just the other person, but where did I go wrong? And a lot of times we are wrong for accepting things as well. You know, people think, oh, you know, just because this person put me through this, and that, I'm the victim. You know, sometimes you're the villain to yourself by dealing with and accepting certain things. So you really have to sit back and be like, I should have never allowed all of that. Like, what was I thinking? And actually realize and really heal and dig deep and get to the root cause of why you allowed certain things. Maybe you was younger, maybe you was a child and your parents did similar things to you and you had to allow it when you were younger. Maybe you need to heal that part of you. But healing is just so essential, it's so imperative after a breakup, after a toxic relationship, after a narcissistic relationship. You know, you really want to make sure that you heal and reflect and not only see where that person was wrong. Don't focus on that all the time. Focus on where you were wrong or what you decided to deal with that made you wrong, that made you a villain to yourself. You can absolutely be a villain to yourself by dealing with certain things. And the stress that you deal with from a person weighs on you and it shows up in some type of way. So, you know, looking good is half of it, you know, of course, making sure that you're polished and keeping yourself together, but healing deep down inside, that's a whole nother story. So I really do feel like those were some of the red flags that we've seen with Za'darius and Kashdoll, or potentially could be, because we don't know about the healing part, right? But it just seems like these two didn't. And if these two actually took the time, like number one, the first point that I was telling you guys about, they took the time to really get to know each other and be friends, I really do think that they both would have realized that they didn't see eye to eye from the very beginning, that they had two different personalities. You know, I will play a video in here where they were on the red carpet at the BET Awards, and these two were just kind of like arguing.
What is your biggest green flag in this relationship?
Consistency.
You hear that? Be consistent.
Consistency. He was consistent. He applied that pressure and it still applied.
And it's still making plans. She said the biggest green flag is consistency
in our relationship.
In your relationship.
What is you stay consistent the whole time.
What did that mean to you?
Nah, I'm gonna switch it up, man. I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna take.
No,
Communication, what it's gonna take. It's gonna take. Listen to me.
No. He said, what's the green flag in this relationship,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's consistent. You stay consistent.
Yeah, you gotta stay consistent. Obviously, we both are popular and got a great career, you know what I'm saying? So it takes time. So when she's doing her thing, you know, I gotta respect it. And when I'm doing my thing, I gotta respect. So
there it is.
It works hand in hand.
Consistency and respect and communication.
Communication. That's what I wanted to tell you, but she didn't want me to tell you that. I
maybe?
understand that. Why you want to argue on the red carpet? Why you want to do that right now, man?
Overall, I do believe that Za'darius Smith and Kashdoll will find the person who's aligned with them, okay? You want to find somebody who is aligned with you. And when you find someone who is aligned with you, y'all kind of have the same mindset. Like, y'all kind of think alike. Not every single thing, but y'all really do think alike. You know, you won't have to worry about, oh yeah, we just can't see eye to eye. You know, that means that you guys are not aligned. And some people will say it's equally yoked. Like, if you're religious, I think if you're Christian, you know, people believe in being equally yoked. But, you know, if you're just spiritual, you may just say aligned with each other, which means that y'all have the same mindset, y'all on the same type of path. Like, you know, y'all believe in similar things and y'all, you know, relate on a lot of things. So yeah, I do think that Za'darius Smith will find the person that's for him and Kashdoll will find the person that's for her. But first, these two really need to heal. Like, as if these two don't have younger kids, so they probably didn't properly heal from their baby mama and baby daddy. But I do believe, especially after this situation, these two need to heal, find themselves, self-reflect on some things, and they will be just fine. First, make sure you love yourself and put yourself first, okay? Always. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Once again, thank you so much for watching Room for Tea. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. See you guys in my next video. Have a blessed rest of your night.